I've been to Ukraine every year since the war started, and you can see a perceptual shift in the way people have been thinking. What surprised me was just how much defiance there was in the beginning. But what I noticed this year was that there starts to be this weariness that has woven its way into the culture as well. I'm Alex Gatapolous, I'm defense editor. This is the 3rd anniversary of the Ukraine war, and between us, I'm hoping it's the last. Both sides have pretty much fought each other to a standstill. I was surprised at how the war weariness had seeped in, but you can't really blame anyone. I mean, it's non-stop. It's not, we get to go, we get to leave, you know, and then maybe come back, but they're there, always. And especially now with the desperation for keeping people and retaining them on the front line, there's not much leave either, which is a danger because you are really grinding down your own military population, and you're doing it out of desperation. What you'll notice are fewer and fewer men of conscription age. You'll see teenage boys, women, older men from pretty much 60 upwards, but men of conscription age start to kind of disappear, especially during the daytime, in part because of these units that are going around effectively trying to press gang men into joining the military. People are talking now far more openly about the sometimes unpleasant tactics that the military police will use and the special units that are basically patrolling the streets. You know, they go to nightclubs and they go to cafes and even stopping people in cars. And if you don't have exemption papers, you'll be forced to sign a paper, or at least pressured to sign the paper. And I noticed when I would go into cafes, sometimes we'd stop filming, we'd go grab a bite to eat. But inside the cafes were all these kind of groups of men in 2s and 3s. It's a quiet dodging, you know, you're not really hiding, so you can't be accused of that, but you are, in actual fact. We would go on a series of embeds to the frontline positions. So we drive into this town that's even a step further, closer to the front line. And there are no human beings in this town, none. The only life you will see is animal life. And we're taken to an underground, it's like a center, community center, supply base. People are just getting on with it, but they've all got their awful stories to tell.
I'm praying to God for survival. I just want to stay alive. All I'm thinking is I want my husband, myself, my children, my grandchildren, as many people as possible to survive. We'd even live in a hole in the ground.
They look resilient, and they are resilient, but scratch the surface and it's all a relative died. My brother died. My sister was killed. You know, it just goes on and on and on. And that's a really sobering thing to run into. What we don't talk about now is that with the upcoming peace, my concern for any country that's been fighting for 3 years is blowback. And what I mean by that is the unintended consequences of pouring billions of dollars worth of arms into a country, training upwards of 1 million people to use them, and then suddenly there's peace, but a stagnated economy. What's going to happen there? Because that is a danger. Could there be some form of civil unrest within Ukraine in the future? So yeah, that would worry me.